Modern lightweight outboard engines combined with super slippery, clever hull designs. So what can an aluminium hull do for you that a fiberglass hull cannot? It's rugged on the outside, but it's really soft on the inside. Let me show you. The Helm station is another level. So apart from looking cool and feeling tough, it does actually provide you some benefits in shallow water, which is why we came to some shallow water today. So come in close and let's have a little look. This is the XO DSCVR T-top. She's a good looking thing, but this is aluminium, not fiberglass. So this is actually a wrap, and we are consisting of different hull thicknesses. So we have 8 millimeter military grade aluminium down the center line on the keel. It moves up to 5 and then 4 millimeter on the sides. And what you would ordinarily associate with an alloy boat, which might be noise, because if you're coming from a tinny, that's probably what you're going to be used to. Don't associate that with an XO, because we have honeycomb following the inside of the aluminium, which is sound deadening. And then all this, come in close, have a look. This is fiberglass. So this is like real modern boat building techniques combining with rugged recyclable material, I got to say, aluminium. And what can it do for you? It allows you to come into the shallows with less worries. So if you come into a situation like this, imagine somewhere that doesn't have clean water. And well, I was in Canggu the other day and it doesn't have clean water, I'll tell you that. I'm certainly not going to be approaching the beach there, but if you can't see through the water, there could be rocks on the bottom. And if the tide goes down, those rocks might be point loading on the bottom of your hull. And if you didn't know that, and you've got a fiberglass hull, we could be having some little dramas. Same thing with coral, and same thing with just random debris. Someone might have lost their anchor, you didn't see it, you've come in shallow, the tide goes down, the anchor's pushing a hole through the bottom of your boat. Any boat can get a hole in it, but aluminium is less likely because it's a bit more rugged. It's got a little bit more flexibility as opposed to a full-on fiberglass boat, which you could do some damage. So if you are someone who wants to approach unknown shores, which many of you are, I know, then focus some attention on an aluminium boat. Anyway, Dan Jones is my name. You're watching Dan's Boat Life. Welcome back to Sydney. This is my home, or was my home, and so I'm going to be enjoying the next couple of weeks here. But we're going to do a really detailed tour of this boat, and then if you are someone who wants to buy something like this, the next video is going to be a sea trial where we're going to go out into what waves we could find in the ocean today and put it through her paces. This boat's combined with the Mercury V10, 400 horsepower. I'm a huge fan of these new engines because all these modern boats with a little bit extra weight and capacity that they now have, that extra horsepower is valuable. Come on, let's do this. So welcome aboard, guys. And I was able to hop up the side, but these gunnels are on the higher side. So if you don't have much upper body strength, think about a bow ladder installation of some sort. You would be able to even mount something on these railings if necessary. First impressions, this is not my first rodeo on an XO, high quality boat. These are boats that you could keep for a long time if that's of importance to you, and you are going to notice the fit and finish as we make our way throughout this boat. They are going to another level of detail. Okay, so just leave that one with you if that's important. Come up and have a look at the bow. We have a traditional, adventure style bow here. These high railings are very handy for getting on and off and boarding friends. That's very useful. We've got our stainless steel cleats just here, and the anchor, which I haven't used today because I wanted to bring her up on the beach. Come in and have a look. So it deploys from here. So you actually pull the anchor up and it just comes out, sits in its own little mounting point just there. You just have to make sure this is up, because then you can have it fully deployed, ready to rock and roll. Obviously have the anchor stowed if you're coming into a dock to pick people up, because then you'll have a little bit extra space to get in close. Now we do have a rub rail around here. It's not the biggest one, but remember, aluminium hull, so who cares if you bump into stuff? I think that's the idea. And the bow lounge or the bow rider area is one of the most protected that you will experience in this part of the market. So quite high sides, nice angle. We got these cushions here. They're all press studded down, but they don't move as we just discovered in the sea trial. Navigation lights here. We've got some speakers just here. We've got this neat XO branded 3 cup holders table. This is removable. It doesn't appear to lower. And then underneath the floor here is access into the bow thruster tunnel. We also have the water tank and the holding tank, plastic water, aluminium holding. We have storage underneath here forward to the port side and also on the starboard. All of them are opening hatches, plenty deep, so that's going to be good for fenders, lines, safety gear, and extra bits and pieces. We do have quite a bit of storage throughout the boat. Now, you don't have to have black or dark grey. I know it looks super cool and stealth, but there may be some of you who prefer a lighter colour. You can get these in white. So don't stress about the colour if you're thinking it's going to be too hot in Australia. I know everyone in the Northern Hemisphere really vibes these darker boats, and to be fair, they're getting pretty popular here on Sydney Harbour as well. So just bear that in mind. We've got the flexi teak here. That's not real teak, so from a service and maintenance perspective, that's okay. Water in, and then let's have a look down the side. So bring the camera and look aft. So can you guys see? So it's a full beam, all right? So if you needed to make your way down the sides, you're probably going to be doing it from inside. However, it's just possible if you're fit and nimble to do this, all right? If you've got long enough arms, you could reach over to the midships cleat, but you probably can just design your berthing and approach angles in such a way that you use the forward or the aft cleats, and then you reach the midship cleats from the dock. So just think about that. Now, the quality, what I was talking about before, this is really, really good stuff. This little door here, that's solid. We've got a stainless steel grate on the floor there, which is going to take any water and allow that to drain out. And then we have a raised ledge, which will keep this part of the boat dry. And then when I close this and I pull that across, we've got 2 locks here, individually operated, and the windscreen is in go fast mode. Come on in and let's check it out. Next thing that I noticed when driving the boat, this T-top doesn't move an inch. It's solid as, very, very well constructed, and these forward supports give it just the right amount of support going through waves that it doesn't move. We have plenty of sun protection, and we've got 1, 2, 3 LED strip lights. So that's going to illuminate this area, I would imagine, quite well of an evening if you wanted to use it in entertainment mode. But get in here and soak it up. What I'm going to say, fellas, I know you might have to like convince the missus on a boat like this, because it does have a little bit of a tough on the outside or rugged on the outside look, but it's soft on the inside because this whole area turns into a beautiful sun lounge. We'll get to that in a second, but I think if you're watching these videos and trying to come up with ideas to pitch the missus, that's what you got to say, all right? It's, yes, honey, it's rugged on the outside, but it's really soft on the inside. Let me show you. And then focus on this, because if the girls just look straight at the boat, particularly this color, they might like get the wrong impression. So just make sure you're pre-armed if you're set on a boat like this with all the right information. So this is a lovely piece of construction here. I do enjoy having the double bolsters that flip up like that, because you can kind of lock yourself in if you wish, if you're in a seaway, or if you've got 2 people, you can choose what you want to do. But I found this quite comfortable when we were cruising around, and this ledge here is fantastic. From an ergonomic perspective, it's really, really comfortable. I've got plenty of things to hold on to. If this person wants to get out, boom, boom, you can. So you've got just the right amount of snugness, but you also have the ability to move out of your location if you're bouncing around some rough water. Smooth edges here, smooth, soft padding, rounded grab holds. So it feels quite safe. I don't see anything that I'm really going to bang myself on if we were going hardcore, bouncing around through a sea. So the Helm station is another level, because whilst that seat's cool, an aluminium fiberglass construction with a nice upholstery, this one has got suspension, and it's really, really good. So you'll see that if you're interested in the sea trial. You can bounce through a few waves, you can do 40 plus knots, and this thing will keep you very comfortable without the need to stand up. However, if you want to, we can adjust this seat. We can go forward, we can go aft, we can do that, and then we can also flip up the bolster and create some standing room for ourselves, and then we can create belly room depending on how much cake we've been having this summer, and we can make that possible for us. In terms of the head height, so why don't you come around and look back this way? I want you guys to appreciate all this. So I'm 5'7", this is me standing up, so I look over the glass just there, but when I sit on the seat, I'm nestled in, okay? And my hat does not blow off. If you are a little bit taller, you're still gonna be seeing out through the glass. So I think it's been designed for people up to 6 foot something to be able to appreciate that. If you're 6'9", yeah, you're just gonna, well, the world wasn't designed for you anyway, so that's just gonna be a problem. However, you've still got quite a lot of headroom here, because the T-top, whilst still looking sexy, that's my arm fully outstretched. I'm only just touching the roof there. So we do have a reasonable amount of space there. So let's get in a little bit closer. My sunnies are going on and off all the time because the sun, it's winter here in Sydney and it's quite low, and I just can't handle sunlight. So it's just one of those things, if you notice me doing it all the time. We've got a fridge with a little freezer drawer in here, so that's enough. Yeah, maybe some of you are going to complain that there's not enough cooling capacity on the boat, but we have a solution to that. I'll get to that in a second. A couple of drink holders, not the biggest. If you had one of those tall tinnies, it might fall over, but if you had a regular one, that's going to be okay. You've got a phone holder location here. You've got this ledge, which is also drained. I like to see that, because if you had a rainstorm and you had phones in here, they would drown. So they've thought of that. We've got a single SIMRAD display, which gives us all our engine diagnostics, and it's multifunction, and all of our primary boat systems are accessible via the switches here, anchor windlass up and down, bow thruster just here, windscreen, wiper operation on the starboard side. I mentioned the wheel is adjustable, and it looks kind of cool with a little leather in there. That's kind of cool. We've got the modern Mercury throttle here, so that allows us to the engine start-stop using this button here. You've got your safety just here should you feel the need. There's the active trim, and you can override it just here. And we've got the Lenco trim tabs, which we did use a little bit of that today going through some of the swells. And then if you tuck in down here on the starboard side lower, next to the helm, you've got your house and crank battery, all your fuses, your water pressure, that's your key start, set that to on. You do have a coffee cup holder there. That is a remote for the windlass if you need to do it from the bow, and then you've got a high water alarm, you've got some charging, and that's your diagnostics plug-in for the mechanics, and then another speaker there which is replicated same on the other side. And I do want to note that they've done 2 drink holders on this side to allow for 2 people, and we also have some phone charging stereo there as well. But does it have a toilet, you were asking? Yes, it does. Check it out. Get the camera in there. It's pretty nice. That's quite bougie. That does have a pull-out shower. We've got a little mirror there. Actually, I might jump in for perspective. And see, we've got this glass that's frosted. You can't see through it, so you do have some privacy. I think the trick for this style of toilet, you actually go in backwards. So you'd go down like that and then reverse your bum onto the toilet. But that works. It's cozy, yes, and it's sit down to pee. Is it sit down to pee? Could you stand from here? No, that's going to be too awkward. Definitely sit down to pee, but it's fine. We've got ventilation, we've got light, we've got artificial light. It's electric operation, holding tank gauge just there, and a decent sink, which you could throw a few things in when you're underway. And you've also got this ledge here to store a few soaps and things. And this compartment is drained because this is a full wet room. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Alrighty, so you can see the Flexi-Tech on the floor here. I think it gives it a nice look, and it's quite, in the winter, as we are right now, it retains heat, so it's very comfortable to walk around barefoot as opposed to walking on hard fiberglass. So, talking about soft on the inside, behind here, you actually have the storage location for these cushions. I'll have to cut to B-roll. So this is the cushions that go over the back table just there. So that's super cool when you want to turn this thing into an absolute ginormous sun lounge area. But then in go fast mode, that's a nice place to hang out, or in social mode. And then when you want to entertain, this is some hard plastic here, but that comes up, that stays there. We've got one sink and second sink just here. This is like cutting board material, it's black. This is actually timber, but it's been painted. But come and have a look on the inside. So you've just got one of these little portable Barbies. Oops, I suppose you could put that up here and cook if you wish, but look how nice that's been finished. And they've done that all the way around. I think that's kind of cute. So put that away. Same drawer, same size, but then have a look at what they've done here. So this, it's got a stopper on it. This is designed to put a rubbish bag. So you just feed the rubbish bag in there and then ready to rock and roll. And I think storage for the rubbish bag would work well just out the back of the boat. They've actually got some spots for that. So come around and have a look. So this is our lunch table. Does it have a support? Oh, okay, so the hinges. I wouldn't put too much weight on that until it's lowered. We'll have a look at that and see how much support it has in the lower position. But 1, 2, 3, 4 drink holders. This is comfy. You can see the cushion wraps around, and these are the pop-up seats which have their individual cushions, and then the whole thing can turn into this big day bed, which is super cool. But out the back here, we actually have another cushion which goes across the back, and that's timber supported. So that removes and stows. I wonder if this pulls out. I'm not sure. I think it does. This pulls out, does it, Campbell? Yes, it does. So that makes sense. So this does just turn into a wonderful sun lounging sleeping area. You're going to be protected from the wind. I would just stow that in the loo if I needed to, or just lay it over there somewhere out of the way. And you can probably get 4 people sleeping out the back here, happy as Larry. That's awesome. So we've got a freshwater shower here on the starboard side. Boom, boom. You can see the high quality stainless drains in the cockpit, more speakers as well. And out on the transom, so if you didn't have these in place, if they were stowed, that's what the deck is going to look like. But you can also see how they've done that little cutout flip up. If you wanted to get in here, it's not the end of the world. Boom, boom. So this is the solution. Come in, can you guys see that? This is the solution I was talking about. You got one of these on starboard and on port. That could work well as an esky, you know, so it can also work well as a rubbish storage area for the end of the day. So you can empty those bags, chuck them in here. Another one could be an esky. And so it's a little bit multifunctional should you need. Even kill tank for fish, that sort of thing. I could see that being a solution. So obviously here on the starboard side, good place to jump in the water, but to retrieve yourself, I think the location, I'm getting that wrong. Oh, I'll come back to that. I'm obviously not a puzzle guy. But to get back in the water, we have a decent swim ladder. So that one, I like this design because it allows you to pull yourself up. So it's a little bit easier to get out of the water. That's really cool. We've got this powder coated black aluminium for towing skiers, which is pretty cool. And the V10 400 horsepower. Love this engine. I think it's the perfect match for this boat. It is really that cool. That's your fuel intake just over there on the port side. And up on the roof, pretty no nonsense. To be honest, you could mount a radar up here if you wanted. I like seeing everything in black. I am imagining some of you guys may be doing some custom black aluminium roof racks and storing your epic skis for your paddling up here. So I think if you are who I believe you might be, that sort of adventurous, activity focused person, you might see some great deal of value in something like this, because it's going to be super cool on a Saturday, take out the missus, and then it's adventure with the boys on a Sunday. That might be what we're going for, or what you're going for with a boat like this. So I think it's probably time to take you over for a bit of a look at the sea trial. If you are seriously interested in a boat like this, that's the next video for you. Before we get there, we've just reached 25,000 subscribers. Can we get to 100,000 before Christmas? I'm asking you. So please ask your wife, ask your mates, subscribe. That's the best way to support the channel. Like, comment, share as well. And if you do want to get on and talk to me or see extra content, that's what we do over on Patreon. There's a link for it down in the description below. So guys, thanks very much. I hope that was useful. Go check out the test drive if you're seriously interested in this boat. Cheers. There are 2 covers for this boat. There's one for the bow and then one for the rest of the boat. And it's going to take 10 minutes to put them on. So just factor that in. Or would you order some custom covers for this seat and this seat, and maybe just take the rest of the cushions off, chuck them in the dunny, and then just leave the boat exposed to the elements, because that's going to be easier for you to run the boat through your summer.